Hello people and welcome back to Talking Comics. Like always, I will give my thoughts on a bit about the comic story without going into any kind of major spoilers. Today I'm talking about the new Orion book what came out, so yeah. The story focuses on the new god Orion, as he struggles to deal with the fact that he is the son of Darkseid. We see him battle through parademons and questioning his purpose in life, if he is truly destined to become like Darkseid, or can he become his own person. I really like this story. It genuinely is great. It feels like one of Jack Kirby's original comics, sorta, and it's clearly written by someone who is a fan of those stories, because they really do understand Orion as a character and what his entire story is about. I've done an entire video on my thoughts on how DC is using the New Gods characters and how some writers write them, and this felt very much like a breath of fresh air. It feels like they really got someone who understands what New Gods is and why it matters so much. This is just really good. I'm probably going to repeat that a lot, but Orion is probably one of my favorite DC characters, and it's really nice to see a writer write him and clearly understand his character. He is a complicated mess of a person, terrified of becoming like Darkseid, terrified he will do something horrible. He is constantly unsure of himself and his path in life. He feels like he doesn't belong or even deserve to live in New Genesis, and this comic completely goes into this. This entire story is about Orion's worries and fears. This story is also sort of a retelling of Jack Kirby's original work. I have no idea if these stories are considered canon. I wouldn't mind if they were considered canon, but I have no idea where they would kind of fit into the timeline due to some of the panels and story beats of this mirroring the original Jack Kirby run. I will say, if you have not read Jack Kirby's New Gods, then this might be actually a really good way to get into them, because if you are a bit more nervous about reading an older comic with some outdated elements, then this might be a very good way to at least get into the world of New Gods that actually does a really good job of depicting what Jack Kirby's original world was like. I also know that this writer has written a story about Big Barda. I have not read that yet, but I've heard mostly really positive things about it. I love that characters actually speak very much like New Gods. I don't know if that makes sense to people who have not read the original Jack Kirby New Gods, but Kirby wrote them with a very kind of specific way of speaking, and this comic does a really good job at kind of redoing that while still kind of modernizing it a bit. Darkseid is great. He feels very much like how Darkseid should be written. He's the embodiment of all this hate and anger, and he very much has a presence to him every time he appears in the comic. He especially works really well whenever he interacts with Orion. In my opinion, the art in the comic is good. I feel like some people will definitely not be the biggest fan of it due to it leaning for a more kind of stylistic, cartoony look, what some comic fans are really against. Overall, I really enjoyed this, and I hope you check it out, because it definitely deserves the attention for just how kind of good and almost faithful it is to Kirby's original work. I'm really interested to see if Ngozi Ukazu, I'm probably really pronouncing that name wrong, I apologize, does any more fourth world stuff, because she definitely should, because she's really good at it. I really wouldn't mind a Forever People story. If you haven't even read anything New Gods, I could very much suggest checking this out, because like I said beforehand, this does feel like it could be a very good way to introduce you to the world of New Gods. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, then feel free to like it, or maybe you hated it, then feel free to dislike it. I have more comic book videos on my channel, talking about a bunch of other stories, and obviously even a video on Jack Kirby's original New Gods. That's all, and goodbye.